Welcome everybody, I'm New Age Designs, and today I'm here in Stormworks, Build and Rescue. Today I'll be showcasing some ideas for mock defense systems for you to add straight into your creations. First, we have a cannon. This is the sort of cannon that you'd find in an old pirate ship or some sort of fort. It's extremely easy to make as it's only an aesthetical shell and a button which is connected to a few flares. We're going to go straight into the details. As we can see here, we have a cannon. This cannon is slightly angled upwards and has a button at the end to fire it. We're going to go into the workbench and I'm going to show you how to build it now. Once we're in here, we're going to select the colour for the wheels. I'm going to use this grey colour. We're then going to go to our x-axis, skip a block, skip another block, and then place in an X shape. We'll then smooth it off using our wedges. Then we're going to remove the middle, get a velocity pivot or hinge if you want, and then place a block to connect them. Then we're going to get the colour that you want the frame to be. I'm going to use a brown so it looks like wood. We'll then paint all this and then get our 1x2 wedge, place it back, fill it in, miss 2 blocks, and then place down our 1x4 wedge block. Then we'll get our 1x2 again, get our same colour as our wheels, and place it here like so. Then we will select the colour that we want for our actual cannon. I'm just going to use the colour that's on this one over here, and then I'll get the block. As we can see here, the cannon comes 2 blocks further than the frame. So we'll go up a block, and then another 2, and then 2 to the side, and this X shape again, and then draw 2 blocks across. We'll then go and look. This cannon is 10 blocks long before it goes into the slants. So we've got 3, so we need another 7. So we'll just place them down like so. Then we're going to smooth off this part of the cannon to make it look more round. Get our 1x4 wedge, pyramid, and then our 1x4 wedge, and just smooth it off. We'll then get our flare, place it down the barrel, then get a push button and place it at the end. We'll then connect power and then connect the button to the launcher. We'll then click on select tool and make these 2 pivots max power to 0%. Then we'll spawn it in. As we can see now, the cannon slides back like this one, and then when we fire it, it fires the flare. Next we have the machine gun. The machine gun is a little bit more difficult to make, but in some ways can look a lot better. This is ideal to have on a small rib or spotted around the destroyer. So let's get on with the details. Here we have the machine gun. This composes of just the machine gun itself, 2 buttons, a velocity pivot, and a little bit of simple logic. Let's go and show you how to build it. So once we're here in the workbench, we're going to get a velocity pivot. It must be this one so it can turn all the way around. We're going to place it down and then get our blocks. We're going to build up 2 blocks, out 1, get our wedges, place them down, whoops, and then place them down. This is what's going to be the shield. We'll then place out, grab a pipe, and then drag out as long as you want the barrel to be. We'll then go and get 2 push buttons. We'll place them down on either side. Then get a T-piece pipe and place them down so they look like handles. Then we'll get a bit of glass and place it at the front. That's the actual machine gun part done now. All we need to do now is the logic. So we're going to go in and get numerical switch boxes. We're going to place down 2 and then get 2 constant numbers. We're going to change one to 0.1 and the other one to minus 0.1. We're then going to put both of these each into the on input. Then we're going to put one of them into the off input of the other, and then the final one into the pivot itself. Then we're going to exit here and look at the pivot. So if we turn to the left by pressing the left button, we need a number positive. So we need this one. So this will be left and the other one will be right. Then we will connect up our electricity, save it, and spawn it in. As we go over, we can see it turns. If this is too slow for you, just increase the 2 numbers on there. And if you really want to, you could always add in a pump or another pivot there to allow it to pivot up. When it comes to lasers, there's a lot that you can do. For example, you could make a laser cannon that shoots lasers, or, in this case, you can use lasers to detect how far away the object is, and then fire your projectile. So here we have our laser weapon. When I turn this key here, it will turn on this laser, and if the laser tells me that there is something blocking it within 1 and 5 meters, it will then fire these flares. For example, there is nothing within 1 and 5 meters here. I'll go nice and close to it. Still won't fire, but if I go into the laser about here, it launches them at me. So we'll head into the workbench, and then we'll start. So simply, we're going to, similar to the cannon, make that cross shape again. We'll then come out 2 extra, here, and then delete here. We'll then get the wedge, and smooth it out. Make sure that you come out 1 extra with your wedge. Then we'll get the flares. I'm just going to take them from here to save some time. That's not a flare. There's. Place them on all 4 areas there, and then grab your laser distance sensor. Make sure it's not the laser point sensor. Place it down, and then that's this finished. Now we need to do the logic. So what we need is a threshold gate. Oops, place it down. 4 capacitors and an AND gate, as well as a key or button to turn it on. What we'll now do is connect up the electricity and now do the logic. So this key here will go into one of the AND nodes, as well as the active on the laser distance sensor. This threshold gate here will connect to the other AND node and the number to the distance on the sensor. Then from this AND we go into 1 capacitor, and then each of the capacitors go into another one. Then we'll connect 1 capacitor to each flare. What is already set on the capacitor is okay for this, but if you wish to choose it and change it, that's perfectly fine. Now we're going to go into the threshold gate. this is where you set where it wants to fire. So I'm going to make it so that when it's between 1 and 5 meters, it will fire. Then let's spawn it in and go test it. So when we turn on the key, we'll get the laser. That looks like it's just over 5 meters. So we'll go stand nice and close to it. Doesn't fire. If we go here, it launches at us. Finally, we come on to missiles. Missiles look really good in creations and truly bring some jets to life. Although they can be very difficult to put together. This is one of the many ways that you can make missiles, but I personally use this one the most. So here we have the missile. The missile is built in 2 stages. You've got the actual propulsion, and then you've got the parts that keep it to the actual plane and all the controls. Simply, when I push this button, it fires it. Now it uses some quirky mechanics to make it do this, simply to save you having to use logic to encode it into composite. So let's go and show you how to do that. So first of all, we're going to need some way of connecting it. So we'll use the sliders. Then we'll get an electric connector and place it not 1 block behind, but 2. Then we're going to get a robotic pivot, or any block that gives you another object. We're going to place down a sliding track connector on there, facing up, so that when it moves back 1 block, it will be connected to this gripper. Then we're going to place another one. Then we're going to get another electric connector, place it down facing up, and then get a toggle button and place it facing back. This can be facing to the left, right, up or down, it's up to you. Then we're going to get the actual propulsion. This is up to you how much you have. For this, I'm just going to use 2 sets of 2 small ones. Then what we're going to do is get a push button and set it by the side and get an electric relay. We are then going to go in and select this toggle button and set its default state to on. Then we're going to connect the electricity from the connector to the toggle button. The other connector that's on the actual plane or ship to one end of the relay. Then we'll connect the other one to the push button, the sliding connector or gripper, and then to the battery. This works by when these two connect, there's no power going into here, but as soon as power does get let through down here, this button here realizes that it's actually on, which will then disconnect here and fire them. So we'll connect that up now. This button turns on the relay. When this is connected, I want the brake to be on. When this button's on, I want this to release, trigger and trigger, and then that's it. We'll then spawn it in, get this one out of the way, and then we'll try this one. When I press it, it should just go, if you're close enough. And as you can see there, it's just shot off. I hope you've enjoyed today's video. If you have any questions or feedback, please put them down in the comment section. And if you enjoyed today's video, please like, and if you've truly loved it, please consider subscribing, and I'll see you in the next one.